Welcome back to the Inside Lines, where politics meets power and the stories go deeper. Today is December 31st, 2025, the last day of the year. And I just wanted to make a quick episode because I haven't done it. It's been a while, it's been about 2 months actually. And, some of that was intentional after the election. I didn't want to be a part of the noise. I wanted everything to settle down and calm down. And I didn't want to jump on any hot take carousel talking about this or that and yelling at each other because, I just didn't want to be a part of that. And another part of me not being able to make video is I've just been under the weather, and it's been a tough almost 2 months. Uh, was sick, got sick again, um, getting over a really bad flu, as you may be able to hear from my voice. Pretty tremendous. It was horrible. I was in bed on my deathbed with a 104-degree temperature for 3 to 4 days. Um, Tried to even go to the ER. I've never gone to the ER, but go to ER. But there's a 2+ hour wait. Didn't want to that long just to hear them tell me to take Tylenol and or Advil or whatever. So, um, but yeah, I made it. I don't take the flu shot, the flu vaccine. Reports are saying there are a lot of flu cases right now in the New Jersey, New York metropolitan area, but they're saying that the flu vaccine is only 30 to 40% effective. It's probably 30% less. So I never see a reason for taking the flu vaccine. Unless you're the elderly, maybe. If you're young, I don't know, but I almost said to my wife, like, maybe I should take it next year. But with those figures coming out, and then missing it, I mean, what's the point? What's really the point? Um, but yeah. So just took some time off. But with this time off, it kind of gave me a little bit of clarity. Um, I'm not a smart guy, but I'm always thinking, and sometimes my mind races and wanders, and um, I think this time of stepping back gave me a little bit of distance to kind of understand. Well, I don't know if I can understand, but really just see, like, to question, like, what happened, what was unfolding around us, and maybe think about what may be in store for us for 2026. Um, so this video is not really about being angry or anything. It's more about talking about reality, um, and asking questions like what went wrong, and maybe what are we already seeing. It's before 2026, but we're already seeing certain things taking place, and what actually matters. I'm doing a YouTube live. I've never done this before, so if the quality sucks, I'm sorry, my bad. But I didn't want to spend time editing a video. Um, right now it's the afternoon. No one's gonna watch this. It's New Year's Eve. Everyone's excited to finish this year off and start a new year afresh. So, but I just wanted to make a video because I haven't done one in quite some time. So let's talk about the elephant in the room: the Republican gubernatorial loss. What the heck happened? What the heck happened? It seemed like things were going in the right direction, right? It seems like the issues were being talked about, right? Rising electricity costs, rising costs, the housing mandates, Um, I mean, what happened? Chitterelli was blown out of the water. I mean, how do you lose by over 14 points? That was worse than the first time around. And I mean, I'll give him credit. I felt like he was doing a really good job on social media, at least by having all these events at diners, popping up at diners, interacting with people. But uh, I don't know. Well, I do have some ideas. Uh, and I think the one main thing is, like earlier this year when we had candidates running, for the primary for the gubernatorial race, we had I think about 4 or 5 candidates, right, who made themselves available. However, it was unfortunate that a lot of the public didn't get to see 2 of the candidates, right? 2 or 3 of the candidates just because they didn't meet the fundraising goals that the state, mandated in order for them to have a seat on the debate stage. That's thing all in and of itself, another thing that's just totally ridiculous and is unfair or not fair to the public to be able to see or hear what candidates have to say. Um, there's some smart people out there, much smarter than me, and they had some really good things to say, but they weren't able to participate in the platform that to say these things to people, or at least be recorded on a YouTube video where a number of people watched. I mean, did a lot of people watch the debates? I don't know. You'd figure in a state where there's millions and millions and millions of people, you'd figure they'd have millions and millions and millions of views on the debates, but I don't think that was true. So um, I really don't know. What I do know though is there was infighting in the Republican Party, basically between 2 groups, Spadia and Chitterelli. The primary decided the winner, who was Chitterelli by a long shot, and it seemed like the Republican Party had their candidate ready to go and ready to win in November. The Democrats had a bunch of people running, vying for office. It ended up being Cheryl winning. I don't think she was a great candidate at all. I think a lot of people wanted her, especially in the Democrat Party, because she was a woman. Um, we all knew she was a Navy helicopter pilot. I don't see how that has any relevance to her ability to run a state. Um, we'll just have to see. But this, I feel, is going to be just Murphy 2.0, like how everyone's saying. There's nothing different. The Democrats were running on issues like, oh, we're going to lower your taxes or we're going to lower your electricity costs. I mean, they've been in power for the last 20 plus years. So, like, what different things are you going to do? Are you saying that the prior 20 years, nothing was being done and now you're going to do something? I mean, the messaging was pretty ridiculous, but the Republicans still lost. And why was that? Was the messaging too national? I mean, Trump being involved, did that hurt Chitterelli? Did that hurt the Republicans? I don't know. The funding being taken away for the Hudson River, the Gateway Project, did that hurt that hurt the Republican Party? It may have, especially in Bergen County, where a lot of people commute into the city. Um, where there are too many abstractions, or is there not enough focus on families suffering, families having to deal with rising property taxes, schools taxes, costs of living, public safety, all these types of things were issues that could have been really, really discussed and talked about. I mean, this was an opportune time. Electricity costs are going through the roof, continue to go through the roof, yet the Democrats still won the governor's race. I I don't know. I don't get it. Some what it does tell us though is that the Republicans did a poor job. and you can be mad at me for saying this, but it's the truth. It's the ultimate it's the truth. You lost by 14 plus points. Something went wrong. You guys didn't do some things. So you can be mad at me for saying it or be mad at yourselves because you guys lost and it's extremely embarrassing. You can't continue to use the same approaches, recycling them year after year after year, and then be shocked at what the outcome is. All right? They do the same things over and over again. They're kind of doing the same thing too with regards to a vote coming up for NJGOP, uh, the chairman. There's I don't know 3 or 4 people, and they had an event a couple days ago, a debate where the leading candidate didn't even show up because, from what I hear, she's an insider, so she's probably going to get the nod because not everyone gets to vote for the NJ GOP chair. I don't even know who gets to vote, but it's just a few people. So nothing's going to change. It's going to be the same people saying, "Oh, we need to do different things." I mean, here's what I can tell you that maybe um, you can try to do. Okay, number one, like reach out to people that are not just Republicans. All right, and I brought this up at a Chitterelli event once or twice. Packed room. I'd ask a question like, "How are you going to reach out to the independent voters or the conservative Democrats, people who don't come out to vote?" You're only focusing on Republicans. But like, how are you going to a party that's kind of broken as in and of itself as it is? How are you going to reach out to the other people? And I was brushed off by Chitterelli, like, "Oh, it's not really an issue. Not really an issue." Apparently, it is. You lost by 14 points, bro. You lost by 14 points. So, hey, who am I, right? I'm a nobody. Who am I, right? Um, Look, I didn't think he was going to win. So I wasn't shocked by the result of him not winning. I was shocked by the disparity in which he lost. Again, 14 plus points against a candidate like Cheryl. Like, if it was a stronger candidate, then maybe it would be more disheartening. But like 14 plus points, like that's worse than your first time around. So, and let me just say, I've met Chitterelli a number of times. Like, he never remembered me. He never remembered me. Uh, I've I've met him at least like I don't know 6, 8, 10 times, and he never remembered me. I know he probably met many people, but it's like how many people, like Asian people, do you meet? Because at your events, I don't see any Asian people, which is probably another thing that you should have probably done is reach out to the Asian people. And I personally talked to him about this, and he was like, "Well, you know what? You guys don't vote." That was his response to me, which really, personally pissed me off because it's like, all right, let's say if we don't vote, like, isn't it your job to go out and convince people to vote for you? Instead of saying, "Oh yeah, the numbers didn't show last time around. Asians don't vote, Indians don't vote, so like we're not gonna really like go after you." I'm like, that's a great mentality to have. You don't. It's a horrible mentality, but that's what was told to me directly. So there's it's not a surprise that you lost. Not a surprise. But him losing doesn't mean New Jersey is not winnable. People say, "Oh, New Jersey is a blue state. It's not a purple state." I don't know. I don't think the turnout really represents that. The turnout from during the election really represents that. I think there are a lot of people who just didn't vote. They didn't give a crap, which is unfortunate. I hope they did. I wish they did. Then maybe we would have had a different. result in the election, but you got to present candidates who give people the incentive to come out and vote for you, right? There's got to be a reason. Chiabrelli's been running for governor. This is like really what, his third time. I mean, we need better candidates. We need people who actually don't just talk BS, but actually show that they do the work, right? They make themselves available. They don't charge, certain groups 20,000 plus to show up for an event, and then and then, you know, don't charge anybody anything. If this hurts, that means I'm talking to you. It's just kind of the ridiculousness of everything. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's talk a little bit about New York City and what's going on there with Mamdani. Look, I mean, the guy, I knew he was going to win, right? He had the social media presence. He reached out to the younger people. He had an inspiring message, but I think that's all it's really going to be, because it's not going to really pan out to anything. He represents an ideology, but we live in a reality. And I think, as complex as New York City is, uh, free grocery stores isn't going to solve the problem. Everything free isn't going to solve the problem, because you need money to run things. Anybody who knows business 101 knows that. Like, nothing's for free. You get what you pay for. And what was funny is when Mamdani, after he got elected, like a week later, he made a video and he's like, "Yeah, send me your money." Like, that was his video. I need your money now. I mean, if that doesn't show you what he brings to the table, then I don't know what else does. Um, Maybe his appointing of certain individuals into his circle shows more. For example, fire commissioner, New York City fire commissioner is that he appointed is a lady who's never been a firefighter in her career. She's retired from EMS. She led the EMS, but now she's going to be the commissioner to lead the New York City Fire Department, the largest fire department in the world, the most complex, um, highly trained, like, the best of the best. She's going to lead them with no experience as being a firefighter. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Um, at least in LA, that lady was a firefighter, or whatever happened. But I mean, hey, no, let's appoint someone. Let's do the DEI, person who's totally not qualified at all, uh, to lead the largest fire department in the world. No, nothing's going to go wrong there. Nothing. Um, it's just crazy. How do these people? It's crazy how these people get into these positions and then are able to make these types of decisions. And the only people, the people who suffer are the regular mom and pop, the regular Joes, who are working their butts off, trying to survive, trying to make a living in a place where they grew up in, and they're not able to because of the stupidity and the ridiculousness of what's going on. Um, there needs to be accountability, but there's never going to be any accountability. And this is what happens when you vote the way the majority voted in New York City and also in New Jersey. And you know what, New Jersey, you should be freaking paying attention, close attention, uh, because when these policy experiments they fail in New York City, the ripple effect lands over here in New Jersey. Housing pressure, tax migration, business decisions, public safety strain, you name it, the problems that start there are going to end up in New Jersey. We saw this during COVID for the housing, right? Where where a lot of people moved out of New York City, moved to like New Jersey, um, and places down south, Pennsylvania. And what happened? What happened? The prices of homes in New Jersey skyrocketed, where I think homes are being overvalued right now. I don't know if there's going to be a correction, but they're being overvalued. People are being priced out. People not being able to move into these communities. There's no family, young family of four, able to move in a town like mine because they can't afford it. Because every house is over $1 million. A knockdown is $800,000. Like there's no way these families are going to be able to move in, other than going into these rentals that are popping up in our town. And I don't know. I really don't know. It's all of this is very concerning. Yeah, the ideas may sound good, right? The ideas are like, oh yeah, everything's free, everything is this or that, blah 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 blah. What sounds too good to be true usually is. So, what does this all mean for New Jersey going into 2026? Here's what I think. Like the uncomfortable truth is this: the statewide races, they're not the immediate battleground. I mean, the assembly races last November have been decided. So for 2 years, really, what are you going to do on state issues, on state mandated issues? Really, nothing. Nothing can be done, right? The Democrats control the New Jersey legislature. They control the governor's office. So all we can do is just hang tight. You can complain all you want, but that's not going to really do anything. So where can we start to think about how we can make some change? And I'm telling you, and I've been saying this, and that's why I myself am even involved, is that the local town board of education matters more than you realize. And why do I say this? Because a good portion of your property taxes go to schools. In most towns, 60 to 70%, even more of your taxes, your property taxes, go to fund the schools. Most of the time, in most towns. All right. Um, when I first got into the board and I realized, I thought like, hey, nothing can get accomplished because if the state makes the laws, we just have to follow the laws. That's it. We can't really do anything. But my mind changed this past year, 2025, when I was on the finance chair, because I was able to look at the budget and look at and see what's in the budget and actually question some of these things. And some things I found were a little concerning. And so I had to make that proactive effort to find and solutions, and also to question things before, or to be able to foresee certain things before the crap hits the fan. One such example is the healthcare costs, rising healthcare costs. Every borough, every town, every village in New Jersey is encountering rising healthcare costs. Whether it's for the schools, whether it's for their towns, where is this money going to come from? You see now, Board of Eds in certain towns like Tom's River are experiencing a shortfall in money in their budget. Mainly, one of the main reasons is due to healthcare costs. Unfortunately, they weren't able to foresee, like how I did in Paramus, where healthcare costs are rising. We need to find other solutions. And in Paramus, we were able to, and that led to $4 or $5 million of savings in our budget, in our taxes. I mean, that's tremendous. And that made me realize, wow, look, Board of Education is extremely important. You look at our town now, our portion, school tax portion of the property taxes is less than 50%. It's 47%. 47%. What does that tell me? It tells me it can be done. But we need people who are motivated to look after, to go find, and to go after and go find things that we can do to help manage this budget, and not just say, hey, you know what, everything is good for the kids, everything is needed, all this stuff is needed, every student needs a Chromebook, you know. So the Board of Education matters more than many realize, and that's why I encourage you, as people out there, parents especially, to get engaged. If there's an issue that you see in your board, in your town board of education, like, go up to those meetings, go to attend those meetings and bring these issues to light if they're bothering you. And don't just do it one time, do it numerous times. And if you feel like you have more to offer, then put your name in the race. Every year there's board of education seats up for grabs. It doesn't just have to go to the incumbents, but every year there's 2 seats, 3 seats that are open for the election. I encourage you, put your name out there, maybe do it with a friend, and run for those seats. And if you need help, reach out to me. I will be more than happy to give you my 2 cents of information and guidance to help you succeed in your election. And I won't charge you a thing, all right? So reach out to me. But parents need to show, you need to show that your engagement, sitting on your couch and complaining is not going to solve anything. Going onto Twitter and responding to some stupid post is not going to do anything. You have to do it yourself. You can't rely on other people. And unfortunately, a lot of people are doing that. They're relying on other people. They're not willing to go up and do the work. And the work, yes, it's work. It's hard work. It's tough. But I say, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? I'm going to rely on someone else to do something that's going to help protect my son when they participate in the public school system? No. How can I rely on anyone else but myself? Right? So get involved. Maybe get involved in your mayor and council races too. The whole point is that we need a strong foundation in order to make changes on the higher levels. Okay? And where does that foundation start? It starts with the Board of Ed. And you know what? It's not glamorous. If you're looking for the glamour, you're looking for the fame, don't do it, okay? Because that's not what this is about. This is about people who really, really care, coming together, finding solutions, thinking outside of the box to solve the issues at hand, okay? And not being intimidated by the administration that's in place or any of the people who are planted on these board of eds, you know, that pretend to be there for the kids and for the taxpayers, right? But are really in it for themselves or the teachers union or whomever it is. Okay. We need people who are loyal, who are honest. And I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, right? If you care for the kids and you're honestly honest, you're being genuinely honest with yourself, then that's all that matters. And those are the people that we need. We need to focus on transparency, accountability. Okay. We need normal, competent people who want to partake in their civic duty, who want to partake in the governance, who want to show up at meetings that no one watches, right? We need good, honest people. That's where real change happens. So, what does this mean for 2026? Well, here's what I think. 2026 can be a great year. It may not be a year where there's crazy something crazy change happens. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But if you're okay with small wins, we can have many, many small wins in 2025, 26. But we need people who are willing to step up. And for me, I think my job here with the inside lines is to bring certain issues to light, breaking them down as best as I can, without any spin, without any outrage, without any like stupidity, social of Twitter and all that type of stuff, but really coming to find solutions and bringing issues to light. Look, I'm not a politician, really. I'm not well versed in politics. Uh, I try to let my actions speak louder for my words. And I'm a busy person, just like everyone else. Owner. I'm a husband. I'm a father, family man. I don't get paid to do this. But the reason why I do this is my hope is that I can inform at least one other person out there about what's going on in their town, in their community, and bring it to light. And maybe, hopefully, maybe others will hear that message and share it with their friends and get more informed. And then, you know what? Maybe do something about it. Because it takes a village to actually have change happen. With that being said, I hope 2025, this last day, is something where you can reflect on what happened this year, um, things that maybe you need to work on, things that maybe you want to continue doing. So for 2026, you can get a lot of great things accomplished, a lot of great things done. My name is George. This is the Inside Lines. I always thank you for watching. Thank you for your support also. I did win my reelection to the Board of Ed in Paramus. It was a pretty good turnout despite some of the things that were going on. But if I appreciate your prayers and your support. And I'm looking forward to doing some more amazing things for 2026 with you guys right beside me. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Happy New Year.